So one of the things that students ask me a lot when I first started teaching this class is, how do you have good relationships, right? What's the strategic plan for having good relationships? I go, I don't know. They don't teach that in graduate school. You would think they would, right? You're a marriage and family therapist. You would think they would teach you how to have good relationships. But when I talk about relationships being a discipline, what does that mean? What is a systematic way to maintain relationships? I'm actually going to tell you. There are systematic ways to maintain relationships. So I'm going to use metaphor. I do that a lot. In fact, most of the lessons I'll teach you metaphor now. I think relationships are just like bank accounts. So if I can relate relationships to bank accounts, what are things that are elements of a bank account?
You get out of it what you put into it.
Yep, so your deposits and what else? Deposits, withdrawals.
Negative fees.
Yep, so what happens when you withdraw more than you deposited?
You get a fee. Like
You get an overdraft. You get a fee, so you get an overdraft. Then you get a whole bunch of fees. What else?
Security measures,
Security measures. Tell me more.
like sometimes if you answer like security questions and get password and stuff.
Yep, there's security measures. What else?
Fees for banking at another ATM.
Yep, banking fees. What else? Loans? What are loans?
Debt.
Yeah, basically loans are when you borrow against money you don't currently have.
Interest.
All right, so you've got loans, you've got interest. What else? You got these things called mortgages. Are mortgages different than regular loans? Yes, what's different about a mortgage?
It's for the house
And it's an incredibly high amount of money. Next to school, probably the highest amount of money you will ever spend. So it's a very large loan over a very long period of time. What else? Do you have credit? So credit, what else? What do you do when you can't catch up? Bankrupts? Account closed? Okay. So in trying to figure out how I can conceptualize relationships, right? So I spent a lot of time telling you that this discipline. But I haven't really given you any real measures to use, right? To apply to that discipline. And I don't, part of the reason why I have to record it, part of the reason that you have to watch competing lectures is because I have yet to find an actual theory out there that gives you a solid way to measure this, except for this one. So I relate this to banking, in that you have a balance, okay? So the thing about banking, it takes a lot of practice and it takes a lot of discipline, because we were still learning until I was 30. So you have to, what do you do when you first get a bank account? Deposit money, right? Deposit. Why are we depositing money?
Because some accounts you have to have an amount in there.
Yes.
Sometimes.
So when we first start dating somebody, right? What do? You're depositing. You're like, calling them up, sending cards, sending flowers, going on dates, dressing up, not burping part of the table, right? You're doing all these different things to build up that relationship. We're actually very aware of that. Guys in particular very much know the rules, right? You deposit. Why are we depositing into this relationship? Oh, that's one way to look at it. In part, you have to develop that good relationship, right? It's fair, right? You're building up that relationship balance. When you get a new job, what had you better be doing if you want to keep it? Depositing. So that first, year, you better be showing up early. You better be working hard. You better be staying after. you better be depositing more than you withdraw. So here's the interesting thing. Every 2 weeks, I take out a massive withdrawal on my account of my job, which is called a what? Paycheck. Do I have to work harder than I get paid for?
Yeah.
Yes, why?
Job security.
Yeah, I'm gonna screw up. So if I just take my paycheck and I work exactly as hard as I get paid for, my account is zero, which is fine until something happens. Yes? So you deposit. And a lot of times in our new relationships, we do this for about 6 months because we realize we have to do it. And because life catches up to us, we kind of stop doing that. But what do we often forget? At the same time you're depositing, you are always withdrawing. What kinds of things are withdrawals?
Your time.
Okay. Time. Attention. Showing up late.
Focus.
Burping. Not focusing. Having to do schoolwork when people need you to be with family. Right? Not calling. Being a jerk. Leaving trash. Insisting on having half of a cake that's not yours. Right? Just basic existing withdrawing. Right? Every time that at work my boss has to deal with an issue that I deal with, it's withdrawing. Every time if I'm late or I have to call in or I have an emergency or right, all those withdrawals. So we're constantly withdrawing, we're constantly depositing in our relationships. It's no problem. Withdrawing, no problem. When does it become a problem? Right. Here's the thing, you gotta deposit more than you withdraw. If you deposit more than with your withdrawal, you're good. So if you deposit more than you withdraw, you will have a positive balance. I can always tell what your balance is with the person in your life because of how you talk about them. But here's the thing about a balance. I learned this at 19. I bounced a 76-cent check for soda. And what happens when you bounce a check for 76 cents?
25 bucks.
Yeah, it was 25 bucks. But then it was 25 bucks for bounce check fee, and then 25 bucks for not being in the positive the next day. And then 25 bucks for every single edition. Pretty soon it was $370. Now, if I had to write a check for a 76-cent pop, I did not have $325. So I went into the bank, just like beside myself, and I looked at her and I go, it's 76 cents. How could you do this? You like made me pay $300 for 76 cents. And I went through this whole thing. And finally she stops and she goes, Ms. Callis, you didn't overdraft because of the 76-cent check. You overdrafted because of everything else you spent. Right? I was focusing on the 76-cent check. But that's not really why I was overdrawn. I was overdrawn because of everything else that I did. So I have students almost every quarter. Something will happen in the last week of class and they'll fail. Right? And they'll go to the dean and they'll be like, this happened and I failed because this emergency happened and that shouldn't happen. You can miss 2 days and still pass. But if they've already missed their day because it was just too nice to come to class, they're going to say, you failed me because, God forbid, I lost somebody, right? Is that why you failed? Right. You got your get out your free card. You failed because of the other days that you missed. Or when you truly you hit a wall and you have an assignment, it's not because of that one assignment, it's because of all the other ones. So when you have an overdraft, this is really interesting. Most of you will notice this. How many of you fight about totally stupid things? All of a sudden, you're in like a knockdown, drag out, pit bull, gonna get divorced over where somebody puts a ketchup, or car seat, or I don't know what to watch on TV. Have you guys all seen this? What is happening that all of a sudden you're having a knockdown, drag out about something totally mindless and stupid? What's happening? You're throwing pots, what you're doing. So what's going on in that relationship that all of a sudden we're fighting over something so minute?
There's other big problems. And it's,
Yep.
there's something else
That's all the other crap you spent. Yes? It's all the other withdrawals that you've taken out. And a lot of times we focus on that one thing. You're like, how could you be so mad at me over this one thing? Why is this one thing such a big deal? Well, it's not this one thing. It's everything up to this one thing. I just happen to be talking about the one thing. I have talked to a lot of students who will tell me, Chrissy, I got fired. And I go, why'd you get fired? Well, I got fired because I had my phone out on my desk. It was totally unfair. I've been a great employee. I just had my phone out on my desk and it gets deposited and I just got fired, just like that. Did they get fired for having their phone out on their desk?
They got rid of everything leading up to the phone.
Right. They're like, why should I get fired? Just they're focused on one thing. And no, you're not going to get fired for that one thing. Yes? It's if you have all the other withdrawals you've taken, and usually by the time you get fired, it's over something stupid. Where if you're not careful, you're going to be like, how could they fire me over this? Well, yeah, it's not about that. It's about every other time. Well, they'll tell me, Christy, they fired me for being 5 minutes late. I was just 5 minutes late. How could they do that? I'm like, yeah, how many times? So you take out withdrawals all the time. Relationship with me, do you guys take out the withdrawals? Do you make deposits? Yeah? Do I make deposits and withdrawals with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's part of balancing a good relationship. The ultimate goal, obviously, would be to deposit more than you withdraw. So if you get overdrawn in your relationships, you will know it. That's when it takes you 5 tries to get an assignment done, right? You'll know. Because all of a sudden, not only are you paying for that one kind of dumb mistake, you're paying for a whole bunch of mistakes, and they compound on each other. So saying one little thing that wouldn't have gotten you, that wouldn't have upset that person before, now all of a sudden you're getting another fee, and another fee, and another fee, and another fee. And you're almost underwater with this relationship. How quickly? That. Like you go from like pass the ketchup to we're gonna break up. It's the same way I got $300 in debt overnight, or 76 cents. And when you understand that concept, because the thing is you're focusing on the wrong thing. What are most people focusing on? The 76-cent check. But what's going to happen next time you withdraw? The same thing, because you're never catching up. You're never even.
You're not depositing enough.
You're not depositing enough. Great way to balance a bank. It's called try to withdraw less and always deposit more. Great thing about this, they told us money doesn't grow on trees. It doesn't. So U.S., Wells Fargo, it's not quite as easy. Money grows on trees when it comes to your relationship. It does. Money grows on trees. You got 2 seconds to make those deposits. And when you make those deposits on a regular basis, you will maintain good relationships. That's just a fact. You can't not maintain good relationships. So we have overdrafts, we got fees. You will pay a fee. Are there security measures in relationships? I would call those promises. Aren't sometimes promises a little bit of a test? In fact, that's part of what was difficult about Jim's situation, is that's a little bit of a test on security. Are you a safe person? You don't want to fail those tests, right? So, banking fees. Do you have to pay banking fees?
Yeah.
Sometimes. You gotta pay fees. Okay, what are loans? Taking out stuff you don't have money for. Is this really a good idea? Depends. You just got to know what you're signing up for, right? As long as you know the terms of your deal, you're taking out a loan. Do we take out loans in our relationships?
Yeah.
All the time.